Boy, do I have a lot to show you and a lot to talk to you about following Manchester United's draw 1-1 with Crystal Palace in the Premier League. A draw that to many people, including myself, feels like a defeat. Let's analyze. The first thing we're going to look at in this video analysis is Wout Weghorst's impact in his first appearance for Manchester United. Now, first we're going to start with this sequence right here, which was an action that was started out with Luke Shaw over here, who's going to cross all the way inside the box to Weghorst, who missed it. This was a very, very good chance, but beyond the chance and the opportunity itself is the fact that Weghorst here was able to actually win a header sandwiched between three Crystal Palace defenders. Now, what this did was that it sent a signal to Crystal Palace players, coach, and staff that this Manchester United team has a different weapon, a weapon that can hurt. And so what this meant is that since this sequence, which happened in the 30th minute, the Crystal Palace defenders started paying way more attention to Weghorst than in the beginning of the game. And this is going to be instrumental in us scoring the second game. So let's watch what happens. So this is the sequence that has led to the second goal. So obviously here, a lot of people paid attention and pointed out the impact of Marcus Rashford and Christian Eriksen. Of course, both of them have been instrumental here. However, Weghorst right here has been key to us scoring the goal. And let's see why. So Eriksen gets the ball quite fast from Marcus Rashford. Here there is a bad positioning from Crystal Palace players. Eriksen finds himself in acres of space. Now look at the Crystal Palace defenders. All of them going with Weghorst. It's as if the whole defensive line, it's as if Weghorst is creating a bulge over here, as in he's pushing and dragging with him the whole Crystal Palace defense, hence creating space over here. Acres of space for Bruno Fernandes and then goal. If we look back here, from the beginning, if you pay attention to Omar Richards over here, the young American center back, who has been very good for Crystal Palace during this game, he is paying attention. You see, he just looked at Weghorst. He's staying close with him because he knows, or he thinks, that he's the danger man. Now, for a team like Crystal Palace, someone like Weghorst would be the main man. But at Manchester United, there are just so many players, so many quality players all across the pitch who can hurt you. And here, Bruno Fernandes was the guy with acres of space, and that was 1-0 United. Now, of course, we played very well in the first half. We dominated possession and we created most of the chances. But this Crystal Palace team under Patrick Vieira, they're actually pretty good. They are pretty well organized. And so I was expecting them to fight back, which they did. But since the beginning of the second half, even though they had most of the ball, we were pretty secure. And this point right here, this is, think about it as our Stalingrad. But we are the Nazis. This was the turning point in the game, and it went downhill for us from here. Bruno Fernandes finds Scott McTominay in acres of space, and then this. Listen, I never blame referees whenever my team loses games. And just in life in general, I think it's a healthy attitude to just be responsible for whatever happens to you and not blame others. But that's a penalty, right? But still, in my honest opinion, in my humble opinion, Manchester United, especially if you aspire to win the league title, you should be beating Crystal Palace away from home without the need of penalties. But what did this penalty do is that it jolted the Crystal Palace players into life. It galvanized the whole Crystal Palace players in that now they started believing that they could actually equalize or even win the game. Bear in mind, Selhurst Park is one of the noisiest places. Crystal Palace is one of the best supported teams in England. They have amazing support, and you could feel it in this game. This is going to lead to us being more and more sloppy because they're putting us under pressure, which is eventually going to lead to two calamitous things. Casemiro's yellow card, and of course, Michael Olise's equalizing goal. Beautiful free kick. So let's look at Casemiro right here and what has led to his yellow card, which could actually be a deciding factor in whether we win the league title or not. So here Casemiro is of course finding space, and then he receives his ball. Now, let me explain a simple concept. It's called dictating the tempo or dictating the play. That's the role of a midfielder, especially the experienced senior midfielders in a team. What it means, okay, to portray it and to explain it to you, let's use an analogy that is not related to football at all. Let's say you're in a bar, you're sober, you're just there hanging out with your friends. some drunk guy comes and bumps into you. And then he starts yelling at you. And he's looking for a fight. Well, you do have two options, right? Option A, you can smack him in the face. But of course, there are repercussions. Either he can retaliate in a reckless way because he's drunk, or maybe because he's so drunk that he's probably going to fall on his head and end up injuring himself, hence causing you problems with the law. But you do have option B, which is to just say, hey, it's all right, buddy. I didn't see you. Okay, it's fine. I'm leaving. And you just de-escalate the situation. That's what a midfielder does. And a smart man in that bar situation would always choose option B. And so a midfielder that plays in the number 6 position right here, where Casemiro plays, their responsibility beyond winning the ball and of course creating chances from deep is to read the game and to evaluate when is it wise to move forward with the ball, to take more risks, and when is it wise to play it safe and simple. Right here in this situation, Casemiro actually has 3 options. So let's see what he does instead. So Casemiro goes in for Bruno Fernandes, too short, and then that obviously led to us being in a dangerous situation. But let's evaluate Casemiro's Casemiro's options here. So as Casemiro gets the ball, he in fact has 3 options. The first option is Varane, who is over here. Okay, so you play it to Varane. That's actually option A. It's the simplest one. You give it to Varane. Through David De Gea and Lisandro Martinez, we are able to recycle possession. It's not the most exciting type of football, but it's safe. You're leading 1-0 against a team that are encouraged by their support, that are galvanized by that penalty decision. They believe. So what you need to do is to soak up that pressure, keep the ball, and then have them calm down. Have their supporters calm down, everyone be quiet, and control the game until the final whistle. That's option A, which in my opinion, the best option. Now let's say he wants to actually instigate and start a Manchester United attack. There's actually a much better option than Bruno Fernandes. And it's Wan-Bissaka, who's over here making this run. This space is empty. Why would you go long all the way with the telegraphed pass to Bruno Fernandes when you can just put it here in space so that Aaron Wan-Bissaka can run into it? Aaron Wan-Bissaka would have the opportunity to run into this space here. Hence, we would have a chance to create a dangerous situation. He didn't. So here, of course, Bruno Fernandes is also responsible. He should win this ball. Mitchell, the left back, he's been impressive for Crystal Palace. Great defending on his part as well. Now, this is mistake number 1. It's not the end of the world. We can make up for it. The ball goes to Wilfried Zaha. Now, Casemiro is going to make mistake number 2. He goes and he takes out Wilfried Zaha with a reckless tackle. Now, let's talk about this for a minute. Wilfried Zaha over here, he's not dangerous. He is extremely one-footed. He's only good with his right foot. That means he goes into this situation. Varane is coming here. What can he do? What can he do? What he can do is to go towards the byline and maybe cut it towards Jordan Ayew, who is an average striker. Plus, we do have a lot of players here who can cover that space. This is not a big opportunity for Crystal Palace. It's going to lead to a corner at best. And I think that an experienced player, and Casemiro definitely is, would see this situation exactly like that, which is that I don't need to make a tackle like this. We are safe. We are fine. And yet he makes this tackle. And I think that Casemiro here acted recklessly, but also he acted on instinct. Because that's what a defensive player does. They don't like to get passed by players. But also I think that he was frustrated because he simply was not in the game. He gets a yellow card. And of course, Erik Ten Hag was pissed off because of that. I think most Manchester United fans were pissed off. Now, this is going to play a big role in us conceding the goal. Let's watch. So this is the sequence that led to Crystal Palace, the foul that has led to Crystal Palace scoring from a free kick. David De Gea actually played the ball long towards Omar Richards over here. Now look at Marcus Rashford. When I saw this, I was so mad. You know, in football tactics 101, in every academy, they teach you 2 things. When a ball is going in the air like this, you have 2 options. The first one is either you go and fight for the ball, you attack the ball where the center back is, even if you are not going to win the ball. Why? Because you just want to make life extremely uncomfortable for them. Or what you do alternatively is that you step back here to anticipate where the ball is going to drop. Rashford, by being here, he's doing neither of those things. Neither is he making Omar Richard uncomfortable, nor is he coming here to support Fred in pressurizing, I think, that schlop over here, right? So Rashford right here, we might as well have been playing with 10 men because he's not involved in the sequence at all. So the ball obviously dropped towards Schlupp. Now Fred, I was not expecting much from him. He's one of the shortest players in the Premier League. But look, at least he's trying to make things uncomfortable for Schlupp. Casemiro comes in. It's a little cagey. Casemiro tries to clear it. Unfavorable rebound right there. But I think that in Casemiro's head, this is not the real Casemiro, right? But I think in his head, he's still playing the movie of the yellow card. I'm sure that before the game, Erik Ten Hag told Casemiro one thing and one thing only. He was like, no yellow cards. I need you for Arsenal, no yellow cards. And I'm sure that Casemiro has been thinking, I let my teammates down. Unfavorable rebound, it goes in. But again, it's not the end of the world. If we look at Crystal Palace right here, this is not a dangerous situation. What could they do? Play a through ball right there? There is no one in the box to cross to. This is manageable. And then Luke Shaw comes in and takes him out. Why? That's completely unnecessary. And that's the problem. That's the problem with Manchester United. That's one thing that we need to improve, is that we always give our opposition incremental advantages that eventually lead to them scoring and to us dropping points like this. Every single time. When we make a mistake, it's not a one-off. It's actually a series of small mistakes that lead to devastating results. Now, let's talk about Antony for a minute. During the first half, there was this verbal altercation between him and Bruno Fernandes. They were literally calling each other "filho de pu" or "son of a b" in Portuguese, which I found really odd, really peculiar and weird. I mean, why would you do that? I mean, that was completely uncalled for. Now, of course, Bruno Fernandes, being the captain, he showed his leadership skill, because just moments later, as soon as he had the opportunity to do so, he went to Antony and just told him, listen, don't worry about it, bro. It's perfectly fine. But I thought that that was really weird. And Antony, I think that his attitude since he's been at Manchester United has been questionable. Now, I haven't talked about it much before because we've been winning. But now I have to point it out, since I'm talking about things that we can improve on. That's definitely an area we need to improve on. What's with his attitude? You know, just walking around like this, like a mixture between Al Pacino and some guy who smells his own farts 24/7. Dude, what's with the attitude? Just chill and focus on football. And I think that once you lose that mutual respect between teammates, that can lead to devastating results. And I think that Erik Ten Hag should definitely smother that this season, while it's still early, before it becomes, a wildfire. So anyway, guys, I hope that you've enjoyed this video analysis of Manchester United's game against Palace. Please, if you did, please feel free to leave it a like and also leave a comment in the comment section below, and cheers.